don't think that we should be discouraging people from
but it's terrible. Like, I don't write in and complain.
Merry Christmas, ho ho ho. Why can't it still be Christmas in January? Man, Christmas is the best time of the year. It's definitely the best time of winter. Anyway, man, and Christmas ends too soon. It's like we blow our load too soon. It's in December, then you've still got January, February, March. I mean, thank God for climate change. Spring might become a bit more bearable, but I hope you're having a happy lunchtime. Welcome to this lunchtime stream. Maybe I'm going to do these publicly on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I hope you're having a great lunchtime. When I worked in the public sector, I actually used to organise meetings. We all organised meetings just so we could get the free sandwiches. Man, there's a really nice bakery in Crouch End, and we get the sandwiches, get a platter of sandwiches in from there. And then they passed a rule that said that you couldn't just have. I think they twigged that we were just organising meetings to get the free sandwiches. So they passed a rule that said that you had to invite outside agencies like the fire brigade or whatever to get the free sandwiches. So we just started inviting the fire brigade, and then the fire brigade got free sandwiches as well, and they were delighted. So that's the public sector for you. It's not quite, North Korea levels of, taking all the citizens' wealth, but it's not far off. It's not far off. Honestly, I was so disgusted at my own misuse of public funds. I became right wing. That's what turned me right wing. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about, coming straight to your meeting rooms in your offices. I'm going to be talking about Kate Smurthwaite, who's come out in defence of the Iranian regime. She's a feminist. What else is a feminist going to do but defend Islamic theocrats who are shooting women in the face? Going to be talking about the Sikh community taking down a grooming gang. Going to be talking about, going to be doing some new material as well. Got some new material to run through because we've got a tour coming up. I'm going to be talking about Eva Vlaardingerbroek, or however you pronounce it, getting banned from the UK. That's right, Labour have finally banned a foreign person from coming to the UK. Unfortunately, it's a civilised, attractive, blonde woman, not a, gun-toting, jihadi, Janjaweed militant who wants to go into a primary school. I've also got footage of a man hassling, the guards that stand outside Buckingham Palace. I've got a crazy woman. This is some of the standard stuff. I've got Iranians renaming street signs after Trump. I've got Candace going crazy. And I've got evidence of the gender pay gap and why it exists. If we get to that, let's. We've got some comments already. Nonstick Nick is eating a bacon and Stilton sandwich. That's very salty. Normally you need some sort of quince jelly to balance one of them out. You need some grapes or something. That's you've doubled down on the salt there. That's me. I mean, I'm just worried about your gout, Nick. Paul Yeward says, pot noodle now comes in a paper cup. Oh my God, a paper cup. So you're supposed to leave it for like 3 minutes to percolate so the noodles can soften. But if you time that wrong, if you leave it for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, it's just going to be paper mache on the table that smells of curry sauce. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Bring back bring back the plastic cup. Pot noodle, they had a great advert. The slag of all snacks. That was just a brilliant punchline. You know, self-mocking. Self-mocking and very true. It is the slag of all snacks. I actually had a stack of pot noodles in the cupboard because when you go to the supermarket and they've got them marked down to like 10p or whatever. So I just bought them all. Not all of them, but I bought a stack. Left some for the single mums. Okay, let's kick off with some new material. It's actually nice. It's winter time because you don't get hay fever. I don't know if any of you get hay fever. Do you know what hay fever is? It's actually the most disgusting ailment you can get. Do you know what hay fever is? It's hay fever is caused by. It's caused by pollen. Do you know what pollen is? It's plant jizz. Basically, every summer, the little plant flowers come out. The little dicks come out the middle of the flowers, and they jizz this dry dust up into the air, like all jizzing up at once, like Rupert Murdoch trying to jizz in Jerry Hall's face, and it all goes up, all mingles together. All mingles together in there. We can't see it. It's like Dumfries swimming pool. And it goes in your eyes, goes in my eyes, goes in little kids' eyes. We're all getting bukkakied by plants. Nothing we can do about it. Absolutely disgusting. But if I go down to the park and wank on a daffodil to try and make it sneeze, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy? Like, there's no justice. There's no justice. Yeah, what a year it's been. What year it's been. Bonnie Blue got baptised. The vicar splashed his holy water over her. Then she got baptised. Hey-oh! I'm sure I've got some stuff in here that isn't about jizz going on faces. Mr. Beast opened 100 wells in Africa for water. And everybody was applauding. Oh, Mr. Beast, you're so wonderful. What a wonderful thing to do. 100 wells in Africa. I'm like, wait a minute. You're interfering in God's plan. You know, I've been here before. Back in like 1984, I think it was, Bob Geldof released a single that said, feed the world, all the rest of it. And I was like, oh, mummy, please buy this single for me. I want to help the starving kids in Africa. So she went and bought it. And then, 40 years later, Hadoush Gerber Selassie Kibatu comes over on a small boat and nonces a girl in Epping. And I feel personally responsible. All I'm saying is, like, maybe we shouldn't interfere in nature. Maybe God had a plan for Hadoush Gerber Selassie Kibatu, and it involved dying with, holding on to a can of Red Cross powdered egg, whatever they send them, But instead, I had to get involved, trying to be a good person, send him some plumpy nut, and then 40 years later, he's in Epping waving his plumpy nut around. Anyway, it was also, 2025 was also the year that Greta sailed a flotilla to Israel. Should have been called Flotilla the Hun. I don't know, I'm waiting for them to sail it to Iran. Why are they not sailing it to Iran? The Israeli military got ahead of the flotilla and they sent a drone out to drop a white irritant on the yacht, which seemed unnecessary because it already had plenty of them on it. But all these environmentalists, they complain that sea levels are rising. But they're also saying don't kill the whale. I'm like, man, maybe the sea levels are high because there's so many fucking whales in the water. Have you thought of that? The whales are massive. You chuck one in your bath, you got no water in your bath anymore. The sea is the same thing. It's just a big bath. Maybe we need to go out. Isn't it ethical? Isn't it ethical to kill whales? Because you kill one whale, you can feed hundreds of people. They're massive. You know what I mean? It's much more ethical than killing like a chicken, which feeds like 2 people. Let's start killing whales. It's the most ethical meat you can get. Also, I don't understand environmentalists. They're all like, sea levels are rising, and that's bad. It's like, I thought you guys liked the environment. If sea levels rise, that's more environment for turtles and whales. I thought you wanted that. I mean, it's a bit less for seagulls, because, the sea's closer to the roof. But who gives a shit about seagulls? All seagulls do is nick your chips and shit in your car. And if I wanted that, I'd go out with a lassie from Newcastle. Also this year, we've had President Maduro of Venezuela stolen by Trump. You know, like, did you know you can just steal presidents? Stolen by Trump and put in the same prison as Puff Daddy. And that's got to be something. I mean, who's got the most oil out of those two? Who's got the most? I mean, they're in there, and like one of them saying, like, I've got 300 billion barrels of extractable oil. It's Johnson and Johnson. You know, it's enough to keep Puff Daddy wanking for an entire weekend. Actually, being in prison, he's probably having a bit of Johnson on Johnson action. I should write that down. Johnson on Johnson. I'll remember it. I watched that documentary on Puff Daddy. It was kind of interesting. What was interesting is, like, you know, back in the 90s, back in the 2000s, we thought gangsters were all these like tough guys. They're all like, guns, bitches, all the rest of it, hoes. And then you find out, yeah, guns and bitches, but also you had to suck Puff Daddy's dick to get that record contract. You know what I mean? It kind of takes the edge off it. It's like watching the Oscars. Like, watching the Oscars is it's much more enjoyable now. You know what they had to do to Harvey Weinstein's balls to get on that podium. You know what I mean? To get in that film. And also rappers. Rappers are the most, you know, for all this, like, guns and violence and smoking crack and stuff. It's like, yeah, also, you seem to have an awful lot of bubble baths. I've never seen a single rap video where they're not having a bubble bath. You know? Like, like a working girl has just got home. You know, I'm going to have a nice bubble bath. Listen to some Michael Bublé in my Bublé bath. Also, what a year it's been. What a year it's been. I want to convert to Islam. I think the great thing about being a Muslim is that when you play Fuck, Marry, Kill, it can be all the same person. Also, where are the lefties demonstrating against people getting killed in Iran? This whole Iran thing has really exposed the bollocks of all the, you know, the anti-Israel protesters. I mean, the left, all their ideas fall apart. You know, they're all like, oh, borders are social constructs. It's like, yeah, except, and they're like, no person is illegal, except the Jews have to leave Israel. And they're like, America's on stolen land. It's stolen hundreds of years ago, but it's okay that the land was stolen from the Jews hundreds of years ago. They say nobody owns Britain, but Israel belongs to the Palestinians. They say Jews are from Europe. It's like, have you seen them? Have you seen them? Like, what? Maybe there are some white ones, but like a lot of them, you know, I'm saying desert people, you know. Lefties also say national identity divides us, but we are all Palestinian. So make your mind up. They say LGBTQ rights, but in Palestine, that's their culture. They say believe all women, but don't believe Israeli survivors of October the 7th. They say don't use racist dog whistles, but we can use Zionist to mean all Jews. And they say decolonize, but not in the Middle East. You know, they say Islam conquered those lands fair and square and colonized them, and we mustn't speak out against that colonization because that would be Islamophobic. And they say defund the police, they're violent, but the armed terrorists in Gaza are resistance fighters. Israel just shows that the left just want to destroy the West. They hate the West. They hate Britain. They hate America. They want to destroy it. They want to fill it with people from God knows where. Anyway, that's some new material. Maybe I'll work it out. Maybe it'll be funny when I do it on tour. Maybe. I'll get some comments. Paul says, Clown World with Simon was terrific. I'm going to see if he wants to do it more regularly because I really enjoy doing it. I think, because we're doing it down the line, I think what works, Simon can talk for ages. I guess I can talk for ages as well. Simon can really talk for ages. So then you don't get that, when you're doing stuff over Zoom, you get that awkward sort of people jumping in. You don't need that because we're just talking for a long time. Nick says, climate loonies will start blaming displacement caused by ships for raising the sea levels. Yeah, well, thank God. Thank God Ukraine is doing such a good job taking out the Russian shadow fleet. So is Trump. Those guys. They found all kinds of weaponry on that ship that they seized. It was like between Ireland and Iceland. And it's supposed to be this oil tanker that was it was left Iran, and it's a Russian ship, and it was going to Venezuela, and they're like, yeah, it's going to pick up oil for Iran and Russia, two of the biggest oil producing nations in the world. You know what I mean? That's not why it was going. So they opened it up, and it was full of drones and stuff like that. And the Venezuelan thing really revealed that, like, a lot of the Chinese tech, the Russian tech, is just bollocks compared to American tech. even like, you know, European tech. Like the Chinese radars didn't do anything. The Russian air defense didn't do anything. So, yeah, man, that's embarrassing for them. Makes me feel more confident when they invade. Although, you know, who's to say whose side I'm going to be on? You know, maybe I want to be a vassal state of China. You know, I like the way China's run. I like the way it's run. I like their just open nationalism. It's great to see. That's why they're so strong. And they don't burden everything with these communist rules. Like when they have a meeting, it's to get something done, not just so they can get free sandwiches, like in the decadent West. They can build a bridge in like a month that would take us 35 years and we'll still be filling out forms about, you know, how it's going to affect pronouns or bat colonies or whatever. Honestly, we need to get our stuff together because China's going to take over. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Kate Smurthwaite. This is funny. I don't know. Do you know who Kate Smurthwaite is? Basically, so Kate Smurthwaite is a feminist comedian with more emphasis on the feminist than on the comedian. Like I've had run-ins with her in the past. I've gigged with her. Man, she's not a stellar comedian, but she's more famous for her television appearances where people argue with her. I debated cancel culture in comedy with her. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. This is me and her 4 years ago talking about cancel culture in comedy.
Terrible. Like, I don't write in and complain that Hannah Gadsby should be like cancelled.
It may not be to your taste, but clearly lots and lots of people like this stuff.
And I don't stop them. I don't stop them.
Defending Roy Chubby Brown, one of the most horrendously racist performers that I've ever had the misfortune to see clips of in my life.
Why did you watch the clips?
Because I was like, what is this about? Why is there a fuss going on? I wanted to know what people were talking about.
Why did you watch Roy Chubby Brown?
I want to be informed and educated about what is going on because it is an influence on our society.
You watched Roy Chubby Brown because you wanted to have a bad time?
This is not really a very good faith argument, is it, Leo? I want to know.
Why did you watch Roy Chubby Brown? That's not a very good faith way to enjoy yourself.
Isn't the point, Kate?
I don't watch. You don't see me watching Hannah Gadsby.
I can't be allowed to finish. I will have to give up on this debate. I want to know.
I can't be allowed to finish. I can't be allowed to finish. It's like she never lets anybody finish. Anyway, let's watch a little bit more, then I'll tell you what she's done now. Oh, man.
What's going on in our culture. So, of course, I watch clips of things that I don't necessarily think are like. And also because it's everywhere. You cannot avoid seeing all these people. They are figures in our culture.
You can easily avoid Roy Chubby Brown.
I haven't even finished.
Kate.
It's... Like, his work is horrifically racist. I'm not even going to repeat some of the things that he says because it's absolutely disgusting. And for councils to be putting his work on is obviously the wrong choice. There are venues that persist in putting him on, and those who wish to go and see him are still free to do so. But I don't think that we should be discouraging people from complaining about that, from not wanting their local council to do that. And then, in the same breath, suddenly Leo is laying into women's football. I mean, again, if it's not for you, then don't watch it.
You're
just saying that lots of
but isn't that the point of Roy Chubby Brown, Kate?
Watch it.
If Roy Chubby Brown is not for you, then don't watch it, but don't cancel the guy because he'd sold 1,000 tickets.
I'm not able to cancel anyone. The idea that I'm able to cancel
I'm going to get women's football cancelled.
Is simply mythological. I'm able to express my opinion and those who are in a position of authority. And my point is that conversation about what is right in the right venue, if for the right audience, in the right circumstance, that conversation should be an open one that we can all contribute to.
But Kate...
No one should feel that they can't chip into that
That's
conversation.
censorious, the right comedy, the right context. The whole point is...
Well, of course it
comedy is a free art form. Unless you're actually breaking the law...
You entirely...
Unless a comedian...
Oh, man, I don't think I can listen to any more of that. I mean, so yeah, she's a feminist comedian, but she's more famous for, like, she goes on talk shows and is an arse. She frequently walks off. She never lets anybody talk, but, like, Jesus, if anybody talks over her, it's like, you know what I mean? And yeah, she, like I say, she's not a... She wouldn't be my first pick to go and watch. And she also she rose to prominence at the Fringe in 2025 because she complained that Oasis, because the Oasis shows were at Murrayfield, it meant that people weren't coming to see her show, you know, in a 40-seater or whatever it was. And I've got to be honest, I don't think there's much overlap with those audiences. You know, I don't think the Oasis crowd have much interest in being shouted at for an hour by a feminist comedian with hairy armpits. And, you know, the Venn diagram of Oasis enjoyers and people willing to subject themselves to Kate Smurthwaite's comedy. That is two separate circles. There is no overlap whatsoever. And she wants to cancel everything. She wants to cancel Roy Chubby Brown because he's funny. She says he's horrifically racist. I mean, well, maybe you say horrifically. Maybe I say enjoyably. And she tried to cancel all this stuff because obviously if you can't do better than somebody in a meritocracy, you got to drag them down. But one thing she doesn't seem to want to cancel is the Islamic theocracy that's running Iran. So this week, this guy Martin Besserman, he's a comedy promoter in London. He's a nice guy. He posted this on Facebook. He said, there are reports that 12,000 freedom fighters and innocent civilians, including children, have been killed by the terrorist state of Iran, with another 15,000 arrested in the last 72 hours. These individuals are likely to face torture and may also be murdered simply for seeking democracy. Anyone who believes in freedom of expression, feminism, and human rights should raise their voices in support of these brave freedom fighters. In Iran, you are not allowed to walk your dog on the street or in a park. Singing and dancing are forbidden. Women and girls are ordered what clothing they must wear. You're murdered if you criticize them. How can anyone support this crap? So, I think Martin's quite right there. You know, he's raised some very good points about Iran, and he's also pointed out that a lot of the people who say that they're feminists don't speak out against Iran, even though you'd think they would. It's the ultimate. If you don't like the patriarchy, man, you can't get more patriarchal than the Islamic regime, the Islamic Republic of Iran. So Kate Smurthwaite replied, and this is a doozy, as they say in America. This is somewhat inflammatory, Martin. Reports not confirmed by Amnesty or the UN. Oh, not confirmed by Amnesty or the UN. Like the most captured institutions, the most anti-West institutions. Like, if they'd been confirmed by Amnesty, I would believe the reports less. Anyway, she continues. The rioting in Iran has included violence. So to say simply for speaking up for democracy is misleading. Not that I in any way support the regime there. Women and girls are restricted in what they can wear. So she's saying the rioting in Iran has included violence. Of course it's included violence. They're literally trying to rise up against a brutal regime that literally machine guns them in the streets. What do you think they're going to do? Like wave a little flag and say kumbaya? No, they need to do what they're doing. What happened to these people during Black Lives Matter? People like Kate who are all like, all the lefties who are like, oh, a riot is the voice of the unheard or whatever. You know, like supporting some liberals and some ghetto people going and like burning down some guy's business they spent decades building up, burning it down just because they're angry that some criminal overdosed on fentanyl while a cop was sitting on him. Like, where's that attitude? Apparently, when it's Iranian people rising up against their brutal regime, it's bad. Anyway, Kate says, not that I in any way support the regime there. Well, let's see if she supports the regime or not. Women and girls are restricted in what they can wear. Yes, and I oppose that. But it's also true here. I can't go out topless. Whoa. Yes, you can, Kate. You can. No, I mean, you don't need to because we've got Grok AI now. She's saying she can't go out topless in the UK. You actually can. You can sunbathe on a beach topless in the UK. It's only illegal to be topless in the UK if you're likely to cause like offence or what do you call it? If it's indecent, you know. So obviously don't just walk around Tesco with your baps out. Like, it's context specific. But you can go to the beach. I've seen it. You know, I didn't look too long, but I have seen it out of the, you know, corner of my eye. You know, and maybe glimpsed again just to confirm that was what I saw. It wasn't just, you know, a flesh-colored top, you know, with a couple of bits of ravioli on it. I made sure, you know, just purely out of research. So Kate continues. I can't go out topless. Men can. Does that make Starmer's government terrorists? No, it's a human rights issue to be addressed by coordinating with feminist organisations. So Kate's talking about her right to go topless in Tesco. equating that with the struggle of the Iranian people? Are you insane? Like, that's insane. That's, like, not at all equivalent. They want freedom. They don't want to be ruled by this barbarous Islamic theocracy that literally executes them, like beats them up, rapes them. Masa Amini was beaten and raped and killed for not wearing a hijab. The other girls shot in the face, shot in the eyes for not wearing a hijab. It gets better though. Kate says, and not walking dogs in public. Dogs are not seen as adored family pets in all parts of the world. They're seen as dirty and dangerous. I can't walk panthers or skunks in Hyde Park, and that's okay. You can't walk your panther in Hyde Park. What the fuck is that got to do with the price of fucking cheese? Jesus, you can't walk a panther in Hyde Park. We're talking about people rising up against a dictatorship. And you're like, well, I can't walk a panther in Hyde Park. You can't walk a skunk in Hyde Park. Well, it fucking smells like you can, Kate. She can't walk a skunk in Hyde Park. Sorry for the language. Sorry for the language. I didn't mean to be effing and jeffing, just in case you've got this up on a big screen at work. She can't walk a skunk in... Kate Smurthwaite can't walk a skunk in Hyde Park. Oh my God. That's a matter. She goes on. That's a matter for local organisations to campaign on. Yeah, but let's get that local organisation set up. The campaign for skunk walking and panther exercise in Hyde Park. What is she talking about? And also, like a panther, there's a risk to life if you're walking a panther. You know, like there isn't a risk to life if you're walking a terrier. This is a nonsense. Anyway, she goes on. None of this is resolved with bombs, which is what these protests you keep going to are effectively calling for, or regime change, which hands Iran's oil resources to Israel or to the US. Now, wait a minute here. So she says that protesting against the Iranian regime is going to result in bombing. But what about all the Palestinian protests she went to? Do you think there's any bombs linked to those protests? Maybe fired from Hamas, from Hezbollah? Ever been any violence connected to Hamas or Hezbollah? I mean, come on, Kate. I thought you were smarter than this. You know, she worked in banking or something, worked in finance before she joined comedy. And I hope she saved up a lot of money because emceeing the Poodle Club pays, I think it's £70. Anyway, maybe she just fills in Arts Council forms. A lot of people do. And she says, regime change which hands Iran's oil resources to Israel or the US. What's wrong with that? Israel, if Israel ran Iran's oil resources, which it wouldn't, but if the US ran Iran's oil resources, it would be run properly. It would be run according to the environmental rules of the West, not according to the environmental rules of Iran, which I'm imagining are pretty non-existent since it's a dictatorship. People would get treated properly and paid properly. You can see in Venezuela already now that the US is going back in and investing, people are getting paid a proper wage again, and they can afford to feed their families, and they're not being treated like garbage and threatened with violence. It's mental. Like, the West runs things properly. We actually everybody's like, oh, we need to decolonize things. Man, if you decolonize these places, all that happens is China or Russia or, some horrible regime goes in or some warlord goes in and runs it with no concern for environmental issues or no concern for human rights or anything. So what we need is the West to recolonize a lot of places. Also, if they're recolonized and they're run properly, there won't be a stream of refugees being like, well, I can't live in wherever it is, Zimbabwe or whatever crap hole it is, because it's going to be run properly. They won't need to leave. Anyway, she finishes saying, you don't really think banning dog walkers is terrorism, do you? You're just being swept along with a lot of pro-war propaganda. I mean, she's really focusing on this dog walking thing. I don't think that was the main thrust of the previous post by Martin. The main thrust of it was about the sort of barbarous regime killing people, killing tens of thousands of people. And how come tens of thousands of people, like mostly young people, mostly the more sort of liberal side of Iranian society, they're coming out and protesting. If you look at the pro-regime protests, they're all old guys. They look like me. You know, they're all like guys, 60 years old, big tash, obviously been on the payroll of the regime for decades. They don't want their status and their money to end. They know that, you know, if the regime comes down, there's going to be these young liberals running everything. They don't want that. They're the reactionaries. They're the people Kate should be hating. Why is she siding with them? It's bizarre. I mean, let's look at what brand of feminism she is defending. Let me just copy this link and I'll copy it to here. This is, the double standards are insane. So, female prisoners who are virgins must be raped before execution to prevent them from entering heaven. This is the Iranian regime. This is what they do. I mean, how despicable is that? It's not just about killing the person. It's not just about ending the threat that they pose to the Iranian regime. They've got to dishonor them in the eyes of God. It's absolutely vile and revolting. And these are the clerics that are running things. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that leftists, you know, side with this stuff. Just because the real reason all the leftists were protesting for Gaza, protesting for whatever, is because they're anti-West. They side with anything that's anti-West. They think that's innately good. They think the West is uniquely evil. They think capitalism is evil. Even though, you know, just walk outside. Look how nice it is in the West. I mean, it's getting worse, but look how nice it is compared to, you know, crap hole countries. That's because of capitalism, the division of labour, the free market. Why is she not out in the streets? They just hate the West. So that's that. We've got some comments here. And look at this. Kaiser Soze makes a great point. What are those sperm whales doing in the ocean? Bukkakeing fish. Exactly. Sperm whales in 2025. Somebody needs to start a hashtag. We can't have sperm whales in the ocean. Every time you go for a swim, you're getting Harvey Weinstein by a big fish. I know they're not fish. I know they're mammals, but they look like fish. Sperm whales. Why are they even called sperm whales? I know they've got penises. I know they produce sperm because they're mammals. Fish produce sperm as well. Wouldn't it be weird if we replicated like fish? You know how fish just like they swim upstream, then they leave the eggs, and then a male fish comes along and just jizzes on the eggs like that. And where's the fun? Do you think like they get a sense of enjoyment from that? I mean, they must get something from it. Is it just like a robotic motion that they're programmed to do? It doesn't seem as much fun as mammalian sex. You go watch some bonobos at the zoo. That's some animals having fun. That's some animals enjoying their procreation. Going at it in front of the Japanese tourists. What other comments have we got? Blimey, she's shouty. Yeah, talking about Kate, not me. I hope... Paul says, Smurfette is sore because there is one Smurfette to 500 Smurfs. Again, maybe this is where Bonnie Blue got her idea. Maybe Bonnie Blue is a Smurf. Maybe Bonnie Blue is a Smurf. Honestly, if she came out like, you know, painted like one of the Avatar women, it would all start making sense. And Paul says Regent's Park has a panther. London Zoo is in Regent's Park. You can actually see it. If you don't want to pay to go to the zoo, and nobody wants to pay to go to the zoo because it's about 120 quid now. It's ridiculous. I'm sure when I was a kid it was like £3. You know, it was like, you know, the coins were big and, you know, probably made out of silver. You hand them over. And now that we're in modern times, it's so expensive to go to the zoo. You want to take your family to the zoo? You might as well buy a zoo. That's how expensive going to the zoo is these days. It's a nonsense. You might as well just drive around the countryside grabbing animals and put them in your garden and then eat them afterwards. I'm amazed that doesn't happen more often. People going out and stealing cows and just eating them. Just get your mates together, get a cow in the van. I've got an Audi A3, so, you know, I probably couldn't fit a cow in it. I could get some, like, chickens or a lamb. But if your mate's got a van, you could just go up to a cow, lure it into the van like you're some sort of, like, a paedophile that likes cows, you know? Like, what would you call what are they called? Not omnivores. What do you call herbivore? No. A herbivile? A herbivile? A bovivile. Bovile. Yeah, I'm a bovile. I'm just getting a cow into this van with a mattress in it. We've got some hay. There's some hay up the back. Yeah, keep going. I should stop now. I sound like I've done it. I sound like I've lured a cow into a van. But yeah, then you take the cow home. One of you slaughters it, halal style if you want. I don't know. You know, you want everybody in the community to eat some. And then you have lots of cow. Fill up your freezer. Anyway, what else are they saying? Still be full. Don't know what that means. So yeah, let's move on. So this next one, I'm gonna just get the link loaded up. This is basically a grooming gang that was discovered in London. You know, I think we're more familiar with grooming gangs in the north of England. Like, grooming gangs up until now have been a northern England thing. Also Oxford and I think Bristol, was there some in Bristol? You know, they're around in Peterborough, Stevenage, places like that. A lot of post-industrial towns, and in London they've never really made an impact. And you know, I think part of that is because a lot of the immigration in London, there's so many different types of people coming to London. I guess you don't get the critical mass of Mirpuri Pakistanis who drove a lot of it in the other towns. So there hasn't been as much noise about grooming gangs in London. Or has there? And it's just been covered up. So we saw Susan Hall, who was the Tory candidate for mayor, asking Sadiq Khan about grooming gangs. And he just batted it away, pretended he didn't know what she was talking about. It was disgusting. Now there's evidence of a lot of cover-ups of grooming gangs, and also local communities are releasing footage, in this case of a Pakistani man who appears to have a teenage girl. Let's watch it. It's kind of very disturbing. Let's watch this.
What's going on, brother? Call the police. Who the fuck you gonna call, bro? What are you saying, bro? Calm down. You know this girl's young, yeah? To be a groomer. Yes, you are, brother. The whole block's saying it. The whole block's saying it, brother. Huh? Everyone knows this. We've been following you around. You've been hanging around High Street, Hounslow West, Hounslow High Street. You've been chasing little girls, yeah? 15-year-olds, yeah?
No, I haven't.
Are you forward, yeah?
Yes, I am.
It's you, brother. How old are you? How old are you?
Listen.
How the fuck are you? How old are you, brother?
I'm 34.
You're 34, yeah? She's 15 when you met her.
No, no.
How old is she now?
She's 16.
So it's okay for you?
Man, so that guy himself admits that she's 16. And obviously this has been going on for a while, so apparently, I don't know if it's a separate girl, but part of this whole case, there's a 14-year-old girl as well. I don't know if it's the same girl, and you know, they're just referring to when she was younger, but that guy's admitted that she's 16.
It's okay for you. Listen, hold on. From 5 in the morning till fucking 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, you're keeping it in your flat, and there's 5-6 men there, yeah? 5-6 men. Brother, listen.
So the local community have seen, you know, 5 or 6 men coming at night to, well, you know what the allegation is going to be. You know, obviously there hasn't been a trial yet, as far as I know, but we know from history what's happened with other grooming gangs. And somebody just pointed out that the girls said they were trafficked to London. I mean, this was pretty horrific. It's not. I've seen it described. I've seen people try and excuse it as, oh no, this was just like you know, a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. It's like, I'm sorry, I've never had a girlfriend that's like, number one, like underage, and I've never had a girlfriend that I trafficked around different British towns so that taxi drivers could have sex with her. That's not, you know, that's not part of this culture. You know what I mean? It's kind of alarming that it was allowed to go on in such a, and still is going on in such a widespread scale. It's in a certain culture.
Listen to me, yeah? The whole Sikh community knows about this, yeah? I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter if she's Sikh, it doesn't matter if she's white, it doesn't matter if she's Muslim, it doesn't matter. How you gonna love? You're saying you love each other now? So you love a little 16-year-old, yeah? But you're a nonce. You're a nonce. You're a pedophile, you're a groomer. Whatever you want to. I'm telling you what you are. I'm telling you what you are, bro. Yeah, you're a liar. You manipulated her. You exploited her. You brainwashed her. Yeah? Why did I do that? You got her doing what you wanted her to do. No, man. Yes, you have, brother. You're a nonce, bruv. You're a nonce. This ain't, listen to me, brother. This ain't Afghanistan. This is England, yeah? 16-year-old going with a 35-year-old. You're manipulating some schoolgirl, bruv. She's a schoolgirl, man. She's a schoolgirl, bruv.
In the UK?
She's a schoolgirl, man. You couldn't find someone that's your age or someone that's like 20 plus, bro.
What's your problem with this?
She's a young girl,
She
bro.
loves me and I love
She's
her.
a young girl, man. Is her family happy with this?
Her family is not happy.
If it was your daughter tomorrow,
Be happy as well.
if it was your daughter tomorrow,
I agree.
So I think he said her family is not happy. It's hard to tell because obviously he's not as loud as the guy asking the questions.
if it was you're Muslim, yeah?
Yeah, I
If it was your daughter, you wouldn't be happy with
wouldn't be
this.
happy with
So you're happy with this now because it's you.
But because I didn't know she was 16.
How's that, bro? She looks like she's fucking 15, bro. She looks like she's 12, bro.
No.
What are you talking about?
When I met her, she didn't look 16.
How did you tell him how old were you when you met him?
16.
You told him he was 16. Brother, she told you she was 16, but you still carried on. You had a sexual relationship with her, bro. You brought her to your flat. You got a council flat, bro. You got a council flat.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And of course he's got a council flat as well because this country can't stop handing all its resources to people who come here and hate us and exploit the system and exploit our liberal society to do stuff like this.
You got a council flat, you're 35 years old, and you're preying on little 16-year-olds. There's nothing wrong with that, bruv. What are you telling me?
What's wrong with that?
There's something wrong with that, bro. There's something wrong with you if you don't think there's something wrong with that, bruv.
The police says it's alright. The religion
The
says
police,
it's alright.
the religion says it's okay.
It's alright.
Islam,
It's
is this your religion, bro? Is this what Islam says is okay, yeah? For you to go with a 16-year-old and you're 35 years old, bro?
Yeah.
And if someone...
Religion accepts this. And
There was another girl. She was
So this is somebody else in the local community explaining what they've seen.
a mixed race girl, and she was about 12 as well. And he said, like, he's the guy. I'm telling you, I told
They
you.
drag her out of the house.
He grabs her by her arm like this, and he drags her out of the house, and she looks terrified. I see her this morning. I saw her, no, get out. I saw her yesterday morning. Sorry.
Getting dragged out by this guy far away.
He's down there, and
Asian guy, yeah?
Asian guy. He's got like a North trap style hoodie, light blue.
Number 21.
He's my next door neighbour. I've been telling the police. You know, something knocked on my door, and I'm like, can you take the girl? Like, I'm something.
It's a young girl. She looks about 14.
Asian girl, yeah.
About
She looks
14.
like my daughter's age, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's seen her every day, and I've told the police, can someone take this?
Does he sell drugs?
No. Yes.
Oh, he sells drugs?
His brothers live there. And I don't know what they're doing to that girl, because there's about 4 guys in there, with his brothers in there, and there's a young girl, and I've said it's weird, and I've said it's nasty, and the police have done that.
Cool. Because that's why we're here today, because obviously we've been told by the community, by wider community, by...
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I've told the police. There's undercover police that's come in, about 5 or 6 police have come. We've all said it. Everyone said it. And I said, why don't you take her? And I said, I don't want this to be my daughter or something like that because she's a young girl.
Cool.
And I can hear them. He has music on too. I don't know. But he's been running from the police because the police know him for drug operations from Staines. The Staines have told me.
Yeah, he's 35 years old and she's 15 or 16.
His vibe is nasty,
Yeah.
nasty man.
Yeah, so that's the local community with their, reporting what they've seen. And the local community was obviously in uproar when this news got out, when word spread, and a mob gathered to protest. Let's have a look at this. Honestly, so this says a case of sexual exploitation has emerged in West London, England, involving a 14-year-old Sikh girl entrapped by a Pakistani grooming gang. The gang allegedly abducted her, confined her in a flat, and subjected her to rape by 5 to 6 individuals, which is pretty much the interview we just saw. So. So that's, I mean, it's great to see the community out to do it, but it's kind of tragic that our government, which spends so long, we've got to protect women and children, and we've got to do that by restricting the internet. And it's like, no, why don't you protect women and children from the people you brought in? Like, why don't you deal with the actual real? There's not like a threat to women and children here. Women and children are literally getting directly harmed right here. So 200 Sikh men from the local community had to take matters into their own hands, because the government has a history of not dealing with issues such as this. So they went down. There's actually footage of them visiting the guy's flat. Let's have a look at this.
Come out, you pervert! Listen, mate, we're not here to cause a problem, yeah? We just want a word with you. Open the door, mate. We want to know why that girl at the age of 14 was groomed and then made to run away from home at the age of 16 by a man that's in his early 40s. Tomorrow that could be your daughter, your sister. I know you're there watching me at the door, my friend.
So it's interesting. That's the sort of MO that they use so many times, and that's why historically these cases have been hard to prosecute, because they've groomed a teenage girl, and quite often they use this sort of the girl will be told that, oh, I'm your boyfriend, but then, like, obviously isn't, and they get given gifts and all this sort of stuff. I'm to a lassie I know from Newcastle, and like it's mad that like people in Britain know girls that this happened to, and there's probably a lot of girls that it happened to and they don't talk about it. And this lassie, nothing ever happened with the police or anything, but it's like affected her life, you know. So man, yeah, let's just listen to some more.
Open the door, mate. If I was you, I'd look out the fucking window. There's over 200 of us there, mate. This problem ain't gonna go away. It's your best bet. Let that fucking go home. I'm telling you now, because you ain't gonna be able to show your face in public again. I promise you that. Do you understand what that guy is? He's a paedophile. He's a paedophile. There's been 2 other cases which involves him. You don't.
I think what we can hear there is the girl's voice from inside the flat defending the guy, because she doesn't necessarily get it.
Even though he's talking to other girls.
There's a grooming gang. It's all over social media as well. This guy in the early 40s.
So the police have turned up, and man, we've seen in cases like this up north and stuff, when the police turn up, they actually arrest, you know, if there's white guys, British guys, they arrest the British guys for, you know, racism or whatever. There's literal cases of the fathers of the girls getting arrested by the police for trying to stop their own daughters getting abused. It's sick. It makes me Sikh. Sorry, shouldn't be.
He's bringing this girl from the age of 14 onwards. Right. Yeah, when she's at 16, he's made her run away from home. Now she's been living here. He's getting all his mates, right? They're all having and shit. They're bringing her over, and she's so loved up with him. She don't want to leave.
There's many people in the whole of the community that aren't happy with him, right? If someone else does something to him, we're not responsible. So at least now we're telling him he better not do nothing, and he better let go of the girl, and he better just end the relationship.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of people out there that could do something, and I can't say no. I'm not saying we're going to do something. Other people want to come and do something.
And everybody knows about this. Even the neighbours.
I've seen the video.
Yes, even the neighbours are saying, they go, we've seen it. We know what you're talking about. The door's been opened. The girl in there, she looks like she's 12 years old. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The police are turning a blind eye to this. The parents have gone to the police many times and nothing is being done about this. Why is this allowed in 2026 in the UK? This is supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the world. How is this allowed? And you guys, every single one of you that are living here, is allowing this to go ahead under your noses.
It's interesting that he says they've been to the local community, have been to the police, they've engaged properly and democratically. We've seen this time and time again. Remember the Ballymena riots in Northern Ireland when, you know, it erupted and migrants were burnt out of their homes? And that was portrayed in the BBC and in the mainstream media as, oh, this is just disgusting yobs, disgusting racist yobs rioting. No, they had an issue with, you know, it wasn't Pakistani grooming gangs. It was like Roma gypsies, problem families who'd been moved into their area and who were committing all kinds of crime and then bragging about it on social media, posting, you know, going back to Romania, posting pictures with cash and with guns and stuff. And they went to the police. They engaged with the local politicians and they said, "Look, we've got an issue with these families. You know, please, can you do something about it? This is a nice community." And they were just told, "No, go away. Stop being racist. Diversity is a strength." You know. And then a teenage girl was sexually assaulted, and so the community had to take things into their own hands. And for all the talk of it being just this sort of random racist stuff, there's footage of the guys who are rioting actually moving cars out of the way so the cars don't get burnt when they're taking out the specific houses that they're taking out. So even though, you know, obviously I don't condone violence, it's horrible. Like, you can't say it's mindless if they're making sure that, you know, other people aren't getting affected by it. It's obviously specific violence, is targeted, and it's horrible that it got to that point. And this is what the government is doing when it doesn't deal with these issues. It means the community has to deal with it themselves. And thank God, like, you know, the Sikh community are rising up and doing it themselves. British people, British people should be doing it as well. British people do it, and then they get. The thing is, when British people do it, the police straight away slam them. Man, I think it's harder for politicians and for the police to come down on them like a ton of bricks when, you know, it's Sikh, it's another ethnic minority community that's rising up.
We don't agree with grooming, manipulation, abuse. She will not convert. We are Sikhs, and we're standing together. We've come to get our niece, our daughter back. We're getting her back. But now we've got to make sure she doesn't come back.
That's right.
Right?
Yes. Every time,
no
pedophiles.
We've said to them, I've just spoken to 4 or 5 neighbours in there. It's been going on for 9 years. He's been bringing young children, not just for this, the first one. It's been going on for 9 years. Young girls, young boys going in and out of that flat. He's been raided for drugs. He's been seen with young boys. We can't let this carry on. Not in our community, not in any community. We stand together united. Bully Sonia!
So yeah, that's interesting. Lots of other nefarious activity going on according to the local community, and the police, local authorities haven't done anything about it as far as we can see. Because the community's risen up, they've actually got the girl, they've taken her into custody. Hopefully she's going to get, you know, the support she needs. And man, it just shows, why is that guy here? Why is he in the country? Why are we giving him a council flat? Why can't we deport him? Why can't we just automatically deport anybody who steps over the line? Like, and this shows the Sikh community. You know how there's this current wave of sort of nativist uprising? Like, British people are they've sort of reached breaking point. And one of the issues with it is that people like the Sikhs are going to get lumped in with the more nefarious elements. These guys, the Sikh community here, they're obviously trying to be good people. They're working hard, they're fitting in, they're standing up for their community. Like, that's an example of, you know, guys who come here and fit in and try and do their best and embody British values. I hate to use that term, British values, but I'm not you know, I know there's a lot of sort of ethnats out there. Oh, Britain, it can only be for you're going to be able to trace your... Nah, like, there's people who come here. Obviously, we can't have too many. I think there's got to be sensible limits. But there's people who come here who totally fit in and contribute. And, you know, from my own personal dealings with Sikh people, from what I've heard from friends and from what I've seen in the news, they seem to do their best to get on. What I'm concerned about is that Britain is, like, importing the wrong kind of people who are just tearing this country apart. Man, the social cohesion in this country is just gone. It's all gonna fall apart. And we're importing sectarian conflict. Like this guy, we've seen grooming gangs, Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs, target Sikh girls because they see the Sikh girls as, you know, impure, unclean. They're not as valuable. They're not as worth. They're not as human as Pakistani Muslim girls. Same thing with the white girls. You know, they see them as you know, fair game. There's an amazing book. I mean, when I say amazing, Christ, it's depressing. There's a book called Easy Meat. They see them as easy meat, whereas they wouldn't see that. I've seen that in, you know, amongst Muslims that I know. Like, Muslim guy I know dated white girls, but he always told them, like, I'm just dating you for fun, for sex or whatever. I'm going to settle down and marry a Muslima, a Muslim girl. Also, I've got to wonder if Sikh men feel more confident than white Brits in dealing with issues like this. Anyway, that's kind of depressing. Let's have a look at the next thing. This is Eva Vlaardingerbroek. Vlaardingerbroek. I don't know if you've seen this. Actually, I'll get it. I'll pull it up on Twitter because then you can see her face and you can see what she's posted. Where is she? Let's find. I should have prepared these links. I prepared the other links. Did a great job there. Haven't prepared this link. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where is it, man? How much bullshit do I spam? Here we go. So Eva Vlaardingerbroek. Let's have a look at her. Can you see her there? Let's have a proper look. Labour have finally barred someone from coming to the UK. It's finally happened. It's not an Islamist militant or a hate preacher or a Janjaweed warrior. They're still beckoned on in. They're chaperoned to their hotels, and they're even allowed to preach about how to stone women to death at government-funded mosques. And they're protected. They're given council flats, and as we just saw in that last clip, they can form grooming gangs or whatever. No, the person who Labour consider a threat to public safety and not conducive to the public good is a polite, civilised blonde woman from the Netherlands, Eva Vlaardingerbroek. I've got no idea. Am I pronouncing that right? Vlaardingerbroek, is it like an Irish name? It's actually David. I don't know, maybe it was easier to ban her than try and spell her name on the visa form. But this is just 3 days after Eva Vlaardingerbroek posted on Twitter, Keir Starmer wants to crack down on X under the pretense of women's safety, while he's the one allowing the ongoing rape and killing of British girls by migrant rape gangs. Evil, despicable man. So, I wonder if Eva has really been banned because she's a threat to public safety, or if she's been banned because she slagged off Herr Starmer. I can tell you what I think, and here's Eva herself talking about why she's been banned.
I just got an email I didn't expect. I have officially been banned from traveling to the United Kingdom. I'm not allowed to enter the country because the UK government under Keir Starmer deems my presence in the UK, and I quote, not conducive to the public good. I don't know what that means. Since when is being conducive to the public good a requirement to enter a country? I mean, especially the United Kingdom, where, if I'm not mistaken, thousands of illegal immigrants enter through the channel every day. Every day. Nobody's asking them to be conducive to the public good, but I cannot come. And now this email came out of the blue in the sense that I didn't apply for an ETA now. I went back in September to join the Tommy Robinson rally where I spoke, and I was planning, I should say, to do that again in May. Guess not. Guess not. And now the timing is quite suspicious, isn't it? Because 3 days ago, I posted this about Keir Starmer, calling out his hypocrisy that he wants to ban X because of women's safety, whilst at the same time he's the one who's allowing these migrant gang rapes to happen. Obviously, he's just doing that because he wants to ban free speech, and that is also the reason why I am now not anymore allowed to go to the UK. But it's pretty dystopian. I mean, it's a very severe limitation of my freedom, and as it says in the email, I cannot appeal. I cannot appeal. I'm not convicted of any crime. I'm not under suspicion of any crime. They just decided, Keir Starmer just decided that someone like me is not welcome in the UK.
That's insane. I mean, I feel safe coming here. I don't think she's going to suddenly start, she's going to run around, stab people on a train. Remember 10 people got stabbed on a train? We never saw the footage from that. And let's look at some of the people who don't get stabbed. So there's a knife-wielding asylum seeker. I'm going to try and pull up a picture. A knife-wielding asylum seeker who threatened a Christian preacher in Hyde Park. Came here like 12 years ago. Here we go. I wonder if they got a picture of him. Oh my God! If you could ever see anything on you go to any newspaper website these days, and it's just, you might as well just it's just stuff in front of the actual article. I don't think there is a picture of him. He's anyway. He's an asylum seeker from Sudan. Ahmed Mohammed. That's why I can't just Google his name, because that'll just come up with everyone from Sudan. He's 35. He arrived in the UK from Sudan in 2012, launching an attack on Daniel Ayeti on May the 25th while he was standing on a ladder at the famous site, Hyde Park Speaker's Corner, preaching to a crowd. He's a Christian preacher. Christian preachers tend to be a bit more sane and sensible than the Islamist preachers. So the Sudanese national Ahmed Mohammed, who has 29 convictions for 67 offences in the UK, then tried to drag the preacher off the ladder. So he came here, 13 years ago? Committed 67 offences that we know about, was convicted for 29 of them. Man, And now he's trying to stab Christian preachers? Like, what's the benefit to the UK of him being here? How is he conducive to public safety? How is he conducive to the good of Britain? Man, this country's insane. And some people have said that, you know, Eva was banned because she's a hot blonde woman, and the civil service is full of left-wing women. Not to denigrate left-wing women, I'm sure there are some hot ones that we never get to see, but I think there could be a bit of jealousy in the civil service. And the munters in the civil service, they just hate a hot blonde woman purely on the basis that she's hot and blonde. But that's one argument. I think this is giving them too much credit. I think the regime knows that it's teetering and it's pulling out all the stops to try and hold back the tide that's coming. The last thing they need is Eva coming here and speaking the truth at one of Tommy Robinson's rallies. Tommy Robinson terrifies the establishment because he can mobilise 1 million people for a rally in London. And whatever Tommy's done in the past, whatever things he said in the past, like now his rallies are undeniably like peaceful, well ordered. He's speaking stuff that's well researched, and with every day, with every new incident that we see that Tommy has actually been closer to the truth all along than the government. It used to be that Tommy was this outlier, you know, shouting about grooming gangs. And it was like, whoa, why is he talking about that? Oh, it must be racist. And it's like, well, no, actually, Tommy was telling the truth. And Eva's been accused of taking Russian money. But everyone's been accused of taking Russian money. I think if we do go to war with Russia, it'll be people that look like Eva, people that look like Tommy, who will be fighting, and not people who look like Abu Hamza or Abu Wadi. Do you want to see a picture of Abu Wadi? This is the guy who made it into the UK. Abu Wadi. Let's see. Obviously, man. Yeah, so this guy. Oh, how do I just want to see the picture. I don't want 1 million pop-ups. This guy posing with all his guns. Look at him. Look at this guy. He's allowed in. Look at him there. It looks like a cartoon. A cartoon of some sort of Islamist nightmare. He's allowed into the UK. But Eva Vlaardingerbroek isn't. Maybe she should just get on a small boat. I don't know. Although, I think, you know, given her style, it'll have to be a yacht rather than a small boat. But yeah, why do people follow rules when following the rules, applying for the visa seems to be the thing that gets you in trouble? If you apply for the visa, they've got a chance to say no. Anyway, before we go, let's just look at something a bit more fun. A bit of a palate cleanser. Let's look at this. I say more fun, it's obviously going to be horrifically depressing. So, this is a guy who's harassing the guards, the world-famous guards. What are they called? The guys with the furry hats who stand outside palaces. Are they, they're like bearskin guards, horse guards? Somebody's going to tell me. Royal guards. Here we go.
Calm down, mate. Take a chill, bro. Fuck shit, eh?
What I mean, some Ferrero folks. They call me Jesus. What's going on, mate? Are you gonna do that? Hey? Are you gonna do that, mate?
You can see the horse really wants to batter him there.
I'll get the crew to come down the evidence for you.
So this is a two-parter. Let's look at the second part of this. Same guy. He's taking his shoes off now.
I wouldn't do that because I'm a man of God. You know what I mean? The Lord Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Saviour, put me on your TikToks. Ferrero, 4.
Oh, I feel bad now. I've just realised this guy's obviously got mental health issues. I was going to slam him for disrespecting these guards, and it's like, nah, he's just in the middle of a crisis. So yeah, let's forget about that. I should have watched a bit more closely. Listen to what he was saying. Yeah, that's good because he's talking about Jesus and stuff. You know, whenever somebody talks about Jesus, it's either because they are like a priest or something, or they're having a mental health crisis. So yeah. I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad. I was like, when I watched this the first time, I was like, why is nobody shooting him? Why is nobody shooting him? I'm a bad. Coldstream guards, that's what they're called. And I genuinely have seen the Coldstream guards like lamp people. Not myself, I've seen videos of it. Because the Coldstream guards, everything, so they're these fun guys on a gingerbread house, you know, on the Paddington Bear, on the box of chocolates. They just stand there in their bearskin hats. And they're not real. They're for decoration or something. No, they're proper soldiers. And obviously when they, you know, go into battle, they're not wearing those hats because, although it might keep you safe from snipers, it's like the sniper's like, where does his head stop? Like I can shoot him and then they shoot him and it just goes through because it's bearskin. But they're actual proper guys, and I've seen. Like somebody went up to one of them, you know how they're supposed to stand there, do nothing. People think they're just never going to move. And this guy went up to one of these, what do you call them? Coldstream guards. Coldplay. Went up to one of them and was right in his face, and the guy just decked him. It's so funny. Because soldiers tend to be hard. You know what I mean? Like in Britain anyway. Like, you meet soldiers, they're tough guys. It's not like in Russia. You see footage of the Russian soldiers, because I think all the proper soldiers have got killed. You see footage of the Russian soldiers. It's like they emptied Weatherspoons. It's like these guys are about to die anyway. Most of them look like they got like liver disease or something. Just like the illest looking people you've ever seen in your life. And over here we still got healthy ones, which is good. Something to be proud about Britain. Okay, so we can't mock that guy. He's just having a mental health crisis. What about this woman? Let's have a look at this woman. Oh, I think I need to. What the hell?
Just register Republican. Just register Republican. You're a blue dot and a red.
Right. Is this working? Let me see. Oh, it is working. You can see that, even though it's a Telegram video. Okay. So I think this is a crazy person we can make fun of this time. Okay, let's see. Because people do seem to be getting crazier and crazier. Look at this.
Red area, just register Republican. Then you get a say in who gets to be their primary candidate. Register Republican. Just register Republican. It doesn't matter. You can go online. That little card doesn't make a difference. It doesn't actually mean anything. You can just register Republican. Let's all just register Republican. We can all register Republican. What will happen if the Republican Party and the MAGA Party all starts getting crazy leftist LGBTQ folk and we can all just register Republican? There's nothing stopping them. If they're going to round up all the leftists and the Democrats, we can all just register Republican. It's all fake anyway. It's all made up. Register Republican. You can vote for whoever you want in the general elections, but in the primaries, you would have a voice in a less crazy candidate, maybe making it to the last stage of the game here. Just register Republican. Just do it. Just register Republican. Nobody's going to stop you. You can do anything you want. Just register Republican.
Oh, I played it again. She says register Republican so you can vote for a less crazy candidate. That would actually help the Republicans, because one of the problems of Republicans and the Democrats is that your candidates are chosen by the sort of the hardcore of the party. So if you've got somebody like that as a moderating voice choosing the least extreme Republican candidate, that's going to mean they're going to be more electable when it comes to the actual election. When they go up against the Democrat candidate. She's helping the Republicans there. But also, when you go to vote, there should be some sort of sensor that detects how wide your eyes are, how much white there is around your eyes. If you've got the full-on Sanpaku, white on three sides. Because she is...
Just register Republican.
She has got scary eyes. She's got those scary left-wing eyes that you only ever see on left-wing women. So, or... insane people. If you've got too much white around your eyes, you don't get to vote. I think the ideal voting system would be you've got to lift like something like 100 kilos or something like that before you get to vote. That should, or you've got to earn a certain amount of money. Maybe not the earning a certain amount of money. They used to be that you had to be a landowner. And that, you know, I can see the merit in something like that. I can see the merit in everybody being able to vote. But this also means that crazy people get to vote. And also she's saying, you know, she wants to get more LGBTQ-friendly Republican candidates. I don't know if she's noticed what's happened to right-wing parties over the last couple of decades, but they're full of LGBTQ left-wing people now. Most of the candidates are LGBTQ and kind of left-wing as well. It's fine. Like, being right-wing isn't the same as it was. I mean, look at the Tory party. Look at the, you know, look how could you get more left-wing. Yeah. I think that's why all the right-wing Tories are defecting to Reform. Apparently, Robert Jenrick, who's a great guy, I've spoken to him. Sounds a bit like Mark Dolan, funnily enough, when he's talking. He's defecting to Reform. I know people are going to be like, well, Jenrick used to support all this stuff. I think Jenrick authentically had a change of heart when he saw the damage that's been done to this country. It's not just about being electable. He could be, you know, almost, you know, more electable if he took a more, you know, Tony Blairish type tone instead of being, you know, being so, like, I'm not going to say inflammatory, but he's, you know, he's very firm on a lot of issues. And he's not. I think he's had a genuine conversion to the genuine right. And I think honestly, if Reform bag him, Reform are going to be unstoppable. And this woman isn't going to be able to stop. I know she's in a different country, but even, you know, people in this country, if they try and do the same thing, if they get involved with the Reform Party, we need to have more LGBTQ people and we need to have more ethnic minorities. It's like, have you seen Reform? It's got like loads of LGBTQ people. It's got loads of ethnic minorities. That's what a lot of people on the right are criticising it for. So yeah, man, being right wing isn't the same as it used to be. You know, we're not racist, homophobic bigots anymore. Well, some of us are, and you can come and see me on tour if you want to hear it. Anyway, thanks for joining my lunchtime stream. I hope you enjoyed your free sandwiches, if you got free sandwiches. And I'll do another one of these soon. And I'll, you know what, I'll make sure I watch the video in detail before I put it up, so I don't end up accidentally mocking a man who's having a mental health breakdown and is probably quite a nice guy and not disrespectful to the Coldstream Guards, as we discovered they're called. Anyway, great to see you. Just before we go, a couple of comments. Paul's pointed out that Mark Dolan is about 2 feet taller than Robert Jenrick. That is true. That is true. Mark Dolan's about the same height as me. Woodula says, that was a laugh. Cheers. Oh, thank you. Paul says, great stuff. Thanks. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. I'm not. But yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I think it's better than doing them at night because, you know, we're more awake. We're more awake. Now I can go and get some lunch. Okay. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye. Bye.